G'day, guys. It's Nelson from Job Pedal here. It's a pleasure to be back after a brief Job Pedal sabbatical, for lack of a better word. And to be back, it is amazing. And to have this man as my first guest is even better. His name is Duncan. He is the big man, the big cheese, the jefe, as my Spanish friends would say. His name is Duncan. That means boss. Duncan, how are you?
Yeah, really good, Nelson. And it's good to have you back too, mate.
It's great to be back.
Studio. It's terrific.
And you've changed it. You know, we've got spinny chairs now.
We do have, and we've managed to get a plant.
I was going to say, if the camera can see this, it's a plant here. It's like a botanical gardens.
Yeah, it's a Monsterio deliciosus, from what I've heard. And it doesn't require water, so it's it's handy.
That's good.
Yeah, saves water
in a drought period. We may be
too right. We're coming up to the La Nina or El Nino.
El Nino.
Yeah.
I must have a child here with these spinny chairs. Anyway, we have to get down to some serious business because Duncan, as always, you are no stranger to the big issues. You like to tackle them, and you always do it very well. So I'm intrigued to hear what you have to say today on the topic of the safety of Australia, where we are based. We're in Sydney, amidst growing tensions in the Middle East in the wake of Hamas's invasion of Israel last week. Duncan?
Yeah, look, thank you, Nelson. It's a pleasure to be here and discuss this very important issue. And firstly, I'd like to express how disgusted I feel of the recent actions carried out by Hamas. That was terrible thing. It was horrific. This occurred just over the weekend in Israel, which can only be described as an evil act and can never be defended. I can't understand anyone that would. A slaughtering of over 1,000 innocent men, women, children and babies is an act of terrorism that ultimately does not serve the Palestinian cause.
And I think that's a really good point, Duncan, because there are genuine arguments for Palestinian occupation of that region. And I can sympathise with that.
Totally.
But the way Hamas is going about this in what is effectively committing war crimes done by an organisation that has been labelled a terrorism organisation by multiple Western democracies around the world is unacceptable. So
totally agree, Nelson. Yes.
So with these recent attacks, fear can often perpetrate the community. People get concerned about their own safety, and we look at the safety of our own homes. So I guess the question then would be, is Australia one of the safest countries in the world?
Well, Nelson, Australia is considered one of the safest countries, fortunately, and our crime rate is relatively low. The likelihood of terrorism is minimal. One element that plays a role in this is the strict regulation of firearm ownership. Not only the firearm ownership, and it's that's right, John Howard, too right, a big note out there for John Howard, thank you. Coupled with the well-trained and highly vigilant nature of our police forces and the security personnel. At Sector, we maintain that rigorous entry assessment standard, and we exercise caution when selecting students for our security course, which is something that we're very proud of.
Well, that's great. So let's go into a bit more detail about Australia's global safety ranking. Where do we sit in the world? We like to think we're a safe country, I would think. But, you know, we live in an age of mass media. There's a lot of misinformation circling around online. And subsequently, fear can spread through the community. But let's get down to the stats, Duncan. What is our global safety ranking?
Yeah, look, of course, Australia is consistently ranked high in the global safety assessments, Nelson, and in fact, it came in 11th out of the 134 countries on the Global Finance list of world's safest countries, which is...
I'm not a maths guy, but that's pretty good.
That is very good.
That's pretty good.
That's excellent. I thought we could have done better, but 11 out of 134 is not too bad.
Who's beating us, do you know?
There's a few. I think Sweden, Switzerland, there's a few of the Scandinavian countries that are up there. Yeah, but there's some of the countries that, most of the countries we do beat, and we're proud of that.
They're good looking and they're safe?
Well, yeah, I know.
If you're going to be good looking, at least have some danger in the community.
Scandinavia again, yep, they get the big tick. But this does speak to Australia being the country's commitment to maintaining a secure environment for all our residents and citizens.
That is great to hear that Australia is so highly regarded in terms of our safety. Now, we are a safe country, but no place is immune to danger. Various threats emerge. It'd be very hard to predict acts of terrorism. I mean, we've seen recently those incidents in Europe where people would just drive a car off the street. I mean,
That's right.
security officers can't prepare for that. So we're definitely not immune, but we are well protected. What are some of the potential risks that we might face?
Yeah, well, look, just adding to what you were saying, the police forces around the world, so they can't make one mistake. The terrorists can make several, but they cannot make one mistake. And that's why we in Australia feel quite safe with the professionalism of our security forces.
Yeah.
Border Force,
Yep.
AFP, and our state police forces. Look, Australia's is a very friendly, diverse type of community. It's a stable country, peaceful democracy. We have a low crime rate, Nelson, and the strong legal protections for individual rights and freedom of speech. I think that's very important, being a democracy.
And a separation of powers too.
Separation of power, that extremely important. However, it's essential to understand that the world is a dynamic place, always shifting, and it's a dangerous place to be in, especially these days. And anything can develop anywhere, including in Australia. So we always have to be aware, and that's something that we teach here at Sector. That's why we're constantly teaching our students what's going on in the world.
Yeah, and that is very important
It
because
is.
they could end up in parts of the security workforce, like at airports, etc.
That's true.
Where these sort of having knowledge of this is critical, right? And while Australia is a safe country, as you say, what are challenges that we face in terms of maintaining this status? Because you mentioned it's dynamic, things can change at any time. I mean, look at the world in the last couple of years. You couldn't have predicted it. How do we maintain it?
Yeah, well, Australia does face a diverse range of risks, and that could potentially threaten our security, our freedom, and our core values that we do hold dear. And these challenges can come in various forms, including issues like drug-related crimes. We've seen that out in the streets in not just Sydney, but also in Melbourne. Cyber threats, geopolitical tensions that are occurring right now as we speak, and our own internal problems, even with domestic violence, is something that we have to address, and we always will and continue to do. But it's crucial for Australia to adapt and respond effectively to these evolving challenges while maintaining its commitment to safety and security amongst our citizens.
I think it's a good point because while we are nowhere near as affected as much as places like Israel or Ukraine are by a genuine foe with an ideological agenda, we have serious security threats at home already in terms of domestic violence and, of course, crime syndicates.
That's right.
Which do cause a lot of damage in our streets. So, Duncan, I just want to say thank you for shedding light on this and giving a thorough security profile, both in terms of these global challenges and also the challenges that I think a lot of us know we face domestically and I think are easier to understand because they may have seen it in their own lives, like domestic violence and, of course, some of the terrible shootings we've seen in Sydney and other places as well.
Yeah.
So, Duncan, we appreciate your insights as always. And, mate, I love chatting with you. Thank you for having me back. Thank you for having me back.
It's terrific to have you back, and you're very welcome all the time. It's essential for us all to remain informed and vigilant in these uncertain times, Nelson.
I agree. Absolutely, Duncan. And to the listeners, thank you for joining us on this episode of Safety Down Under. Stay safe. Stay informed.
Well said.